That fella couldn't do anything. He couldn't even kneel to pray. And he got saved. Are you saved? That fella couldn't join the church. He couldn't join the church. He couldn't get baptized. He couldn't get baptized. He woke up with God. He woke up with the devil. Are you saved? So that fella didn't take the sacraments, didn't take the sacraments. Didn't say the rosary, didn't take the rosary. Didn't tithe, didn't tithe. He went to heaven, he went to hell. You saved? Didn't keep the law, he didn't keep the law. He broke the commandments, he broke the commandments. He didn't keep the golden rule, he didn't keep the golden rule. He woke up in glory, he woke up in the pit. Are you saved? You're saved. If you're not saved, you're over here or you're over here. You sure ain't in the middle. He said, Lord, remember me, thou comest thy kingdom. And Jesus turned to him and said, verily I say unto thee, today shalt thou be saved. It's like that. You have been saved? If you ever saved, you were saved like that.
All right. In this video, I just want to quickly talk about how the right has gone too far. And by the right, I mean the political right. The Republicans have gone too far with their support of Trump and trying to set up a dictatorship that they can't back down now. And on top of that, they've gone too far to allow there to be a 2028 presidential election. So between now and then, things are going to change, because if they get to that point, they know that the pendulum is going to swing way back to the left, and the left is going to be much worse in their revenge towards the right. So they can't let that happen. And it's like something Trump recently said, where he said, you're not going to have me here always. I'm not going to be here to protect you. And what I was getting from what he was saying is that he was telling everybody on the right, you've done a lot of shady things to support me and to push what we're doing here. And if I'm not here, you don't have any protection. The only thing that's actually keeping you from being persecuted right now and sent to prison or worse is me. So you got to double down on your support and make sure I don't go down. Because if I go down, you're all going down. And that's exactly what's going to happen come 2028. People are not even going to care who's on the left, who it is running. They're going to vote for that person. Right? And that means that the left is going to swing back at the right and make them pay for all the things they've been doing. Right? And the right won't be able to bounce back from that. So for them to actually stay in power and to be able to get back in power is to make sure there is not an election one way, shape, or form, whether it's because of some kind of emergency because of World War, another one of those boogeyman illnesses going around, whether it's civil war, whether it's some emergency from something else, energy crisis, they come up with something, right? They can't allow there to be this other election. They would have to do something to extend terms to allow there to be an extra term for presidents or something along those lines to push for them to have more time to do what they're trying to do. And so the world is definitely, we already know it's changing. Everybody, if you can sense it if you can't see it just plainly with the way things are going. And between now and 2028, things are going to get shooken up. right? And if they need to, maybe they collapse the dollar. They're already preparing for a digital currency, so maybe they'll do anything they can to bring up distractions to get us to fight each other, whether it's in civil war or world war, so that we don't turn on the government, and then the government can set up its structure as long as the people are distracted. That's why they're distracting us with fighting the left, fighting the right, fighting immigrants, right? Fighting people because they have different skin colors or they're a different gender or different sexuality, right? They get us to fight for whatever reason. And while we're doing that, they are messing with things behind the scenes, right? And slowly but surely, they're turning America into a dictatorship. And it's either going to be where the right with Trump is the head, or they fail miserably and the left takes over and finishes what they've done. But instead of the right being a fascist dictatorship, we're going to have more of a socialist communist dictatorship. Both are trash. You don't want either one, right? But the right has gone too far to just, oh, yeah, let's allow the Republicans to have, the Democrats to have 4 years from 2028 to, 2022, 2032, right around there. We can't allow that to happen because we won't even get in, right? So they got to do something. And that's the scary thing, is because they know their backs are against a wall, which means things can get very insane and violent and devastating because they're fighting for basically their lives. Because if they don't succeed in what they're doing, they basically just committed treason. And the penalty for treason is the end of your life, right? Something like this here, right? You can't say these words these days for some reason. But, yeah, something like that. And Trump already said he wants to bring that kind of penalty back. And he accuses people of treason and warns what the penalty is. And he very well can get to the power where he's basically the king of America. He's always showing pictures of himself getting crowned and all this other stuff. And it very well could happen. It looks like that's what's going to happen. Because ultimately, I think the left is just a distraction, a buddy. Kind of like, let's say wrestling, where you have whoever the good guy is versus the bad guy. You have a person who plays the hero, you have a person who plays the heel, right? The heel works everybody up and pisses them off so that they support the hero who comes and fights him. Because if the heel isn't irritating anybody, people don't care about the fight. But if you get the heel, the villain, to be bad enough to rile people up, then people support the hero. But the thing is, behind the stage, they're friends. They're co-workers that are working together to put on a show to get you all drawn in, right? And that's what has already been done, and I think that's what we're going to see happen. So one way or another, there isn't going to be a 2028 elections, and I don't know if that means that before then, we're going to see some drastic things. It would be nice, something like the rapture of the church would be nice, but I can't guarantee that's going to happen. All I do know is that in Revelation chapter 6, when that first seal is opened, it talks about the Antichrist receiving a crown. right? And that happens after Revelation chapters 4 and 5, where the church is raptured. And the church is in heaven with Jesus when he starts to open up those seals. So if all this leads to someone like, let's say, I don't know, Donald Trump receiving a crown, right, being a new Constantine, a new Caesar, the King of America, well then, we would have to be taken before then. Because that would mean that he is that guy, that man of sin, the son of lawlessness, or the son of perdition, the lawless one. Right? Everyone calls him the Antichrist, right? That would be him. So, there's some good news to that. Unless you've been rejecting the gospel this whole time and you're going to be left behind to go through what's to come. It's not good news to you at all. But that's your own dang fault. This could very well be the best news ever. But you decided, that you wanted the bad news instead, for whatever reason. And that's on you. But anyway, I just wanted to make this quick video talking about this because there's sometimes where I sit and I think about the future. I try not to get all caught up in the future, but I mean, how long can things go on? Right? Not very long. America is going to change. Change very drastically, too. Matter of fact, I got another video I want to put up with the world's talking about how there's another, industrial revolution coming. That's going to change everything the way it changed the world in the past. And we're going through that change where it's going to make the world into a one world government. And they're not saying this as some kind of conspiracy, take away sovereignty and freedom. They're saying that this is just how things are going to evolve. And it's that's kind of crazy that all the Christians who study Bible prophecy have been warning that this is the exact thing that was going to happen. And here we are having the secular people talking about that this is the next thing that's going to happen. But check out that video. It should be up not too long after I post this one. So, with all that being said, thank you for your time and your attention. I appreciate it. Any kind of support you can give would be greatly appreciated, especially your prayers. Because I'm a believer in prayer, and I'm clinging on and hanging on by a prayer. And, just walking by faith, not by sight. Because you go by sight, you look at the storm like Peter did out on the water, and you start to sink. And then you have to cry out, Jesus, save me. And he keeps telling you, hey, you have little faith, why'd you doubt? And it's like, I am sorry. It's hard not to focus on everything going on, right? Help me keep my eyes on you, Jesus. Help me. Get my attention. Smack me around. Get my attention. So I know there's nothing to worry about. But anyway, I suggest you read and memorize Matthew 6, verses 25 through 34. And thank you so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you in the next one, and may God bless you and yours.